In this video, we're working on my wife's 2004 Chevy Suburban. We're going to be working on idler arm and Pitman arm, this time on challenge to build. Shakes, make sure it's settled in there. The next thing we got to do is pop off this splash shield. I believe there are 4 15mm bolts holding the splash shield up, and then also we have the skid plate that needs to come off, 4 bolts for the skid plate as well, and that'll expose all the steering linkage, tie rod, and Pitman arm. That's the Pitman arm right there, off the gear, steering gear. And your idler arm up in the truck. So we got a couple bolts. I'm going to do the whole assembly because it would be hell to get that nut off right there. You have to remove the whole assembly anyway. So if you're going to remove the whole assembly, my opinion is, why not replace it? So this one is a 21, and so are the 2 back here that actually hold the assembly in. And with any luck, this sucker should just pop off. I would recommend that you go at these with some kind of impact gun, whether it be electric, battery, or air. So borrow one, rent one, buy one. So now with this one off, we're going to go ahead with the same process up here on these 2. Now with the bolts out, we're going to try to take care of this mess here, get this actually to loosen up, and then that whole assembly should come out. Alright, so unfortunately, I thought the camera was rolling, and of course it wasn't. So what I ended up doing, and you can't see the winning shot, but I'll try to at least tell you what I did. I got a 4 or 5 pound BFH, and coming up in here, whacking, taking a few hits on this, loosened it right up, and then she dropped right down, which in turn allows you to easily pull out the assembly. I checked all the parts check out. As you can see, I am using AC Delco original parts, which actually are quite a bit beefier than factory. They give you quite a few different options. Reading the instructions, you can use the remote grease hose, which I'm actually not going to do because it really wasn't that much of an issue to grease it anyway. So once the Zerks are installed, it's time to reassemble the truck. Zip this on, hopefully everything goes well. Yeah, we're ready for reassembly. All right, so now we're back under the truck. We're gonna stick this sucker up in there. So now, we're just going to hit it with the impact gun. Now it's just a matter of hooking up the actual assembly to the steering linkage. And now that it's back installed, you run the castellated nut up on it. And then run the cotter pin through it. Bend it back. And there you have it. Alright, so it's Saturday morning, around 11 o'clock. I got done working on the Suburban last night, and after dinner I said enough was enough. Figured I'd call it quits and start fresh today. Got my son Jake helping me back there. Alright, so we're both underneath the truck. We're gonna pop off the 21mm bolt on the Pitman arm first and see how it goes. Just like that. Alright, so I got a puller on there. It's actually a 2-jaw puller. We're going to attempt to try to pull the drag link off of the Pitman arm, see if there's enough movement without taking apart the idler. I realized I think I might have went too far yesterday. I probably should have left the idler arm off the drag link last night. So we'll see if I can get this to pop loose and have enough play. If not, I'll probably have to disassemble the idler arm off of the bracket to get a little bit of movement out of the drag link. So we'll see how this works out. Alright, so that's off, and it should give me enough play to get this all apart. Attach the socket, and then with a little bit of luck, the socket fits on there, and we should be able to break this loose. And like so. That was a money shot there, boy. Alright, so after about an hour, kind of was getting frustrated with how things were going. It probably would have been a lot easier if I just took the steering box off and got involved with that whole process. I also had Fabricate my own pickle fork because I did not have one big enough. So I have 5/8 flat stock, some BOM tubing. It was quite an expensive pickle fork, but it got the job done. Alright, so I just want to compare the parts. I am using all AC Delco original equipment parts. Everything appears to be pretty good. One thing I did have to do is install the grease zerk up at the top of the Pitman arm. Got it index the Pitman arm. Alright, so we had an interesting change of events. The Pitman arm did not fit, and I'll show you why. If you look, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 keys. What I found out was there is a 3-key and a 4-key Pitman arm. In reading the description of Amazon, I must have looked over it, or it wasn't there. I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, putting a 4-key onto a 3-key gear doesn't work. Go figure, right? Square peg, round hole kind of thing. So what I had to do is call the local parts store. Thankfully, they had a Moog in stock. So the Moog number is K6654, which is going to be the 3-key Pitman arm. I don't know how. Let's see how I can do this. 1, 2, 3. So with a little bit of luck, the 3 key should fit. In order to get it back up and in, what I did have to do is, unfortunately I went a little too far last night. So I had to remove the bolts, the 2 bolts from the idler assembly from yesterday, which allows it to drop down. Man, the right part definitely makes it a lot easier. Holy cow. So there you see Pitman arm fully installed on the drag link, and then on this side we had to reinstall the 2 bolts for the idler assembly. So all in all, it was a pretty successful day. I can say that it was very frustrating this afternoon with having the wrong parts. That chewed up quite a bit of time for today. So yeah, I don't necessarily know how you would know if you have a 3 or a 4 tooth steering gear, but got the issue resolved. Thankfully they had the right part. Got it taken care of. All right, so we're on day 3 of doing maintenance on the Suburban. Got the Pitman arm and the idler arm done yesterday. We're gonna go for the body mount today, so I'm gonna set the camera up and we'll get right to it. All right, so I got an 18mm for the bolt. Let's see if we can get lucky and see if it comes out. Well, that worked. Alright, so I'm using a pair of side cutters to get up in here and cut some of the rubber and messed up metal out of here. The plan is to cut a large area washer and a new piece of rubber. I have some rubber that I've had for other body mounts for other projects around. So after I get this cleaned up, we'll get involved in cutting a piece of rubber with a new washer. All right, so we're over here at the workbench. What I'm going to do is cut a body mount out of this 1/2-inch rubber that I have for other projects that I've had around the garage. I have a 2.5-inch hole saw, and as far as the washer is concerned, I was going to actually cut a washer out with the hole saw as well, but I had to go get propane for the grill. So while I was there, I looked at large area washers. So this is actually for a 1-inch bolt, and then what I'm going to do is weld a smaller washer on the back side, and then I got a new bolt. So once this is done, the new bolt's going to go in here and the rubber underneath, and I'll have a body mount. So you'll see me cut the rubber, and then we'll weld the washers together and then reinstall everything. Alright, so now the plan is to reinstall the body mount. I went with such a large area washer and rubber mount due to what you can see there. Problem is, it doesn't look big enough. Alright, so after the first attempt, I'm not real happy with the way it looks. It doesn't really catch all the good metal around the body mount, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a 3" by 3" square 1/8" plate, drill a hole in the center of it, radius the corners, and use that instead. So back to the drawing board. Alright, so we just finished up the fabrication of the new body mount. I went with a square. See if it fits now. Alright, so I also put some blue thread locker on it this time, because this time is he's going to be a winner, so we're going for it. This will be a permanent. This will be the permanent fix. Center her up. Alright. The mechanic doesn't like that. I'm not sure what he's going to be looking for. Success. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this weekend. Had a lot of fun filming and working on the Suburban. Remember to like and subscribe down below. Leave me a comment. Always challenge the build. I want you guys to have a great day. Thanks for watching.